thing called tuna sashimi? 3, 2, 1.
Hello again, Tuner back again. This time I'm going to show you one of my latest pickups, and this is not it, as you see in here. This is my SuperGun. This is my homemade one, which I made a long time ago. So I did do a video on before. So it's a Jamma connection and everything, and it's built into a Dreamcast arcade stick. You see all the different connections I've got and various things on the back. And I say this is a SuperGun I've been using to do my Neo Geo videos, because I use the Neo Geo 1-slot arcade board. So I've done a bit of a deal with one of my mates, and I've upgraded to a new SuperGun. So we'll take this out shot, put it down here out of the way, and then we'll show you the new purchase. That behemoth for there. Well, what you're looking at there, guys, is a Japanese commercial made SuperGun called a Boardmaster. This is one hell of a beast of a SuperGun. 2-player controls, as you can see, all 6 buttons on both sides. This is pretty much the front of a Blast City Sega arcade machine. It's pretty much the control panel based on a fully metal base. It's all powder coated metal, so it's pretty heavy, it's pretty weighty. Features this thing has is obviously you got your 2-player controls, all 6 buttons. These switches at the top, I think what I'll do is I'll pick this up and it'll be a bit easier to... Yeah, here we go. There's the first control panel. There's all 6 buttons. These switches up here will auto fire those buttons, and these switches here will auto fire these buttons. So it's pretty nice. You've got an auto fire feature. If you move along here now, sorry about the light above, guys, but it's the only way I can get it bright enough. There's your player 1 and your player 2 start, and your credit button. And then it's as same as the first side. You got your auto fires, and you've got your buttons that are on the side. So if I turn this round, as you can see, it's heavy. If I turn this round, there's your connector for your looms. This isn't actually Jamma. This is used as a Taito arcade connector. So it's a little bit smaller than a Jamma, but there's a loom you plug in here that converts this into a Jamma loom. So let's go back on the other side. Right in, here we go. Ooh. I can say it's a little bit awkward. Right then, on the back then, you have, first one is this potentiometer here. What this does is gives you the ability to shift your screen left and right, which is well handy, because sometimes your screen is off to the one side. It doesn't allow you to zoom, but you can move the screen left and right. You got your service switch by here, and you've got your test switch by here. This one is volume, because if I lift this up, as you can see, those holes by there and by there. This one has 2 big speakers actually inside the SuperGun itself, so you can get sound from the SuperGun, which is pretty amazing. And then if you go over to this side, what's actually inside here as well, there's a video controller. So it basically, in my old SuperGun, I basically run the controls straight to a SCART lead, which does a job as long as you get it set up right. It can look pretty nice, but inside here is actually a video controller. What that video controller allows you to do, it outputs in 3 different video formats. So you've got your S video, so if you ever need to use that, so you've got your S video, then you got your composite video, which is, or composite as I like to call it, and then you got your audio. The audio is only mono, same with the speakers, because a lot of arcade games are mono anyway. Some are stereo, but and then you've got this little DIN connector here, which is your RGB out. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's pretty it might be the same pin out as the Mega Drive, but I'm not going to test it, but as far as I know it is. These then are little fuse banks. The 3 fuses, if I can look at my PC, you got your first fuse is a 12 volt 1 amp. Your second fuse then is a 5 volt 1 amp. 5 volt minus 1 amp, and the other fuse then is a plus 5 volt 7 amp fuse. So these fuses control it. When I first had this, I don't know whether it's because I plugged it in wrong or something, but I was getting no sound why I wasn't getting. It's because the fuse is blown. So I changed the fuse. The fuse are a little, they're a little bit smaller than normal fuse. I think they're 20mm fuses. I'm not entirely sure. I think they are. But you can get them on eBay and places easy enough. There's your main power switch. So that turns the thing on and off. And then this is your main power. This is the 1 amp fuse for the main power. This goes off then into a lead, which has got this connection, which is your Japanese connection. Because this is a Japanese supergun, it doesn't have the ability to do 240 volts, so the power supply inside will only do 110. Done this before. If I pick this up, what you're going to need is a step-down transformer. These are reasonably cheap to pick up on eBay. You can get them for about 8-9 quid, something like that. So you basically plug that into here, and that converts it down to 110 volts. So that's essential, basically. Otherwise, you're going to blow the internal power supply on it, which you don't particularly want to do. So as you can see, this thing has a hell of a lot of features. And I say, as superguns go, if I put this back over here now, as superguns go, this is pretty much the Rolls Royce of superguns. Japan, they made a couple of different superguns. I think this is the most expensive one. There's a Rajin supergun, which a lot of people go for, which looks pretty cool as well. I say these were commercially sold in Japan and commercially made, so they're not cheap knockoffs. It's a very well made unit. It's pretty damn heavy. It's full of metal. And really good build quality on it, and the sticks themselves as well, they're all Sanwa, so they're Sanwa JLF sticks, and they're Sanwa OB I think they have 30mm buttons, so all proper arcade parts used on it. What I was saying about the side connector, that connects into this. This goes in the side, and it's got all your wires and everything for your Jamma connections. What's quite nice about this, I don't know if you can see it, the light is bit, they're actually all labelled as well, which is quite nice, and that goes into, and then that converts this then to your standard Jamma connection. But what it is, because I'm using this on Neo Geo, there's a slight change you need to make. If you plug a Neo Geo board into a standard Jamma connection, your sound is all screwed up and you get really scratchy, high-pitched sound, and you're missing a lot of things. That's because on the Neo Geo harness, a slightly different setup to Jamma, is your ground pin on the Jamma, which goes to sound ground. Actually, on the Neo Geo, that is your service switch. So what you need to do is you need to move that service switch, which if I can have a quick look at this, I'll tell you what number it is now if I can see it. I think it's pin L. You need to move pin L and move it to one of the common grounds. So basically you got 2 common grounds this side and you got 2 common grounds on that side. So I don't know whether you can see, I've put this cable by here. This was going to pin L. So I move this then and basically pinned it to one of the common grounds by here, and what that does then, it gives you perfect Neo Geo sound. So beware, if you do have a Neo Geo and a standard Jamma, you do need to make that change. So lucky enough though, this thing came with a couple of looms. It came with 2 looms, which is quite nice, so I've repurposed this for Neo Geo. The other thing you need to do with Neo Geo as well is you've only got a certain amount of buttons, because standard Jamma only connects 3 buttons, but you need 4. And on the loom, the button there, you can see the red cable is your 4th button on Neo Geo, and you've got player 1 and player 2 on the other side. So what I've done, I've actually connected them up. So actually on this thing now I've got A, B, C and D. I was thinking about doing it across the 4 by there, but it'd be really awkward to play some Neo Geo games, so I've just done it like the standard Neo Geo CD setup, which is basically A, B, C and D. And if you got a Neo Geo 2 slot, 1 slot or 6 slot, which I do have a 4 slot as well, when you plug multiple games there, you need a button for changing games. So what I've done is, because most of the time I'm probably not going to play 2 players on this anyway, and I didn't want to ruin it by drilling a hole and fitting an extra button, so I've used these 2 buttons for change game up and down. which might be, well, if you're playing 2 players, might be a little bit of a problem. But if it comes to I'm going to play a lot of 2 players, I will. I say there's plenty of room on the back. I could put a button by here or something and wire it up, or I could even wire it up to this button by here for changing games. But for now, just as it is, I've wired it up to them too, so it'll do. Say most of the time I'm going to be playing single player. Yeah. So it came with a couple of looms as well. I go in this bag. What's quite nice as well, it comes with a standard Jamma loom, which is your standard Jamma setup. This is for I think it's for Neo Geo buttons. I'm not entirely sure what that extra's for, but it also comes with a kick harness. This is used for the Capcom games to get 6 buttons. So basically on here you got your grounds, and you got your button 1, 2 and 3 over there, and you got your buttons 1, 2 and 3 for player 1 and 2, and that plugs into the Capcom boards then, and then you get 6 buttons. So that's quite nice. So I kept this original and I modified the other loom. So I got a standard Jamma loom. Also comes with a few other things that I'm not quite sure how this connects. There's a Sega I/O board for Sega Naomi. There's also a Sega Naomi connector as well. So I think this goes into the Jamma by the look at it, because obviously that's quite big. That goes into the Jamma and then converts it to Naomi. So I'm probably never ever going to own a Naomi system. So, but it's nice to have the options anyway. And it also came with a few of these little converter cables, which I cut that one off because I was changing, but it comes with these little converter cables. So I'm not entirely sure what those converter cables are used for, but nice to have them nevertheless. But anyway guys, so that's my Boardmaster. As you may have noticed, if I come and go a little bit closer again, you may have noticed the control panel as well. And it says licensed by Sega. I don't know if you can see it. Licensed by Sega, Blast City. Well, this SuperGun itself is not actually licensed by Sega. It's made by a different company. But this actually is a proper Blast City control panel, which they use on the Sega arcade games. So they basically took this control panel and fitted it inside this. So so I do a little bit earlier. I opened it up. And I took a video of the inside, so it's very nice, very well made on the inside. So we'll swap to that video in a second, and then once we swap to that video, I'll swap to a bit of gameplay. So we'll get my Neo Geo board going through it and record a bit of gameplay so you can see what it's like, and then we'll call that video in. So very impressive. So let's go to the inside view. Right then guys, this is inside the Boardmaster, so we'll zoom in a little bit. Say this is where the loom goes into the side, and if you look up, I've got my Neo Geo 1 slot there connected. I say the loom goes down here, connects into the side by here, which I'll push that in by there. Comes into the inside where all the connectors are by there, and then goes off to the various fuses up the top by here, and the on button and the power cable going off by here. This is where the VGA, not VGA, but the RGB out goes. You can see the speaker by here, which can't get to work on my Neo Geo 1 slot for some reason, but sound comes out through the SCART lead, so it doesn't particularly make a difference. As we go along by here, here's the video encoder. They say this does actually have a video encoder, so it's not going straight to RGB. It runs through this little encoder. To be honest, my homemade SuperGun, and this output's pretty much the same. It doesn't make that much of a difference, so I'm not entirely sure why the video encoder's there. But obviously it was just to clean up the signal a little bit. And to go out now, there's the Jamma power supply. As you can see, it's quite it looks big in this picture, but it's quite a small, neat power supply. There's definitely enough power in this to power my Neo Geo 4 slot with no problems at all, without any adjustments, which is very good. My other one I need to bump the power up quite a bit on that to get it to work. As we go across here, the sound runs into here, goes through the speakers, and that's your potentiometer for your volume. That's the potentiometer for your left and right, so you can move the picture left and right. So We'll go up to the top now. This is underneath the actual top panel. You can see some Japanese writing there. I don't know if you can notice. They're both Sanwa JLF sticks with Sanwa buttons underneath there. I'm not quite sure if they're Sanwa buttons, mine, but I have to get a little bit closer to read. But and there's Play 2 joystick. And these bits by here, which you can see are for the auto fire, and this links all the buttons together, works rather well. So as you can see, inside there it's pretty super neat, to be honest. So it looks very well made indeed. So we'll pan back to the outside now. Right then guys, let's go into the gameplay test on this Boardmaster. So since we're on it, we'll pick Rage of Dragons. I say this is the second Double Dragon beat 'em up, which is very nice. I think what I'll do, I'll turn my Neo Geo board down a bit. I say the picture's really nice. They have a little bit too much contrast, to be honest, but I could do a little bit of a mod to do that.
Don't bother. Ready, go!
Let's turn that board right down. So it's a really nice playing game, it says. Ooh. Damn. Get my ass kicked. I think you swap characters like that. Kick his ass. So that's Rage of Dragons on here, so let's quit out and try something else. To give you an idea what sort of the games look like. Let's do a King of Fighters there. Let's do King of Fighters 98. I love King of Fighters 98. Pick some random characters. By the way, the new King of Fighters is out on the PS4, which is pretty awesome as well. So we'll be playing that later on today.
Ready, go!
We'll come right on mid-air then. Sure you got an A move. Why can't I do it? It's not working. I say they changed these characters around quite a bit in these King of Fighters. This guy's pretty hard. Ah, that's a special. Wow. So that's King of Fighters. I say to cancel games out on this 161 card, you just hold down the play 1 button. And let's try Samurai Showdown 3. And then it cancels back to the menu, which is quite handy. Play Genjiro. Really beautiful looking game this is. And they might actually be making a new Neo Geo Samurai Showdown soon as well. If King of Fighters is a success, which I think it will be, they are talking about making some of their other franchises. That was lucky, wasn't it? Right, so let's try something else. Just so you get the idea. Nightmare in the Dark. Really cool game as well. This is a pretty wicked sort of bubble bobble sort of esque game, like sort of set in the horror world. Pretty awesome. Got some really good music on this game as well. Got a bumping soundtrack. Cool. So the picture looks very nice. Apart from just being a bit brighter, it doesn't look that much difference to my homemade SuperGun, to be honest, even though this one does actually have a separate video controller. From what I was reading as well, a lot of people saying they swap out the video controller for VGA, which I'm not going to use VGA. You can get a VGA controller for this, like so. Just takes a little bit of rewiring on the inside, which I'm not going to bother. I use SCART anyway into my FrameMeister. This is how I play my games anyway, so. Right, so that's Nightmare in the Dark. We'll show one more game, I think. Let's have a look. What should we show? Let's have a look at Pulsar on here. Pulsar is a really nice Neo Geo shoot 'em up. Stunning looking. Really nice graphics in this game. Yep, so that's all the games then, guys. So okay. As you can see, this thing does look pretty beautiful. Even though I say maybe a little bit too much contrast, but I could use my FrameMeister to drop the contrast on here anyway, so not really much of a problem. I could always put a adjustable resistor on the red, green, and blue lines if I wanted to adjust them. Plenty of room in here to add some adjustable resistors, to be honest. Right then, guys, so my thoughts on this. Well, this is a pretty awesome SuperGun, and this is definitely, I think, of the Rolls-Royce of SuperGuns. They are a little bit pricey though. You can currently buy them in Japan at the moment. I think they're about 430 quid, plus your postage, plus your import duty. So you're talking probably well over 500 quid to actually get one in the UK. I bought mine second hand. Well, I done a deal for a second hand. I say you really got, to be honest, you really got to be into your arcades and stuff to buy a SuperGun. But if you are, you know, I don't think you can do much better than this. There are a couple of others out there, like the Rajin SuperGun. A lot of people buy, which is looks very good as well. I say with the ability of this, with the auto fire, all the buttons and the double-sided, you know, the double sticks and that is pretty awesome. It's pretty much the front of a Blast City arcade cab. It's made of metal, so it is heavy. The internal speakers are nice on here. They sound really good. Pretty much you can use with the leads. You can pretty much use any sort of arcade boards on here. Will all work. Say I did have to, you know, chop one of the leads up a little bit to create a Neo Geo lead, but with a bit of wiring online, is, you know, it's not too hard to do. Like. Yeah, say this thing is definitely extremely well made. You can see that it's quite professionally done. It's very clean on the inside, as you've seen, and very well made. yeah, pretty awesome piece of kit. I got to admit, if you're into it and you want a board master and willing to spend the money, I don't think you can go far wrong. It's a pretty awesome piece of kit. Pity I haven't played on any of the other commercially made super guns, but I think I will be using this from now on, though, to play my Neo Geo games. I might put my other super gun into retirement for now. And just still keep it though, because I can use that joystick and other things, and it obviously still is a super gun. So I think I might check out into retirement for now and use the Boardmaster from now on for my Neo Geo reviews. So you'll probably see a lot more in the future. So yeah, thumbs up, really cool piece of kit. So right guys, I'll catch you again in the next video. So hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully you enjoyed the look at the Japanese made commercial super gun. So catch you again. Bye now.